Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, how AI is shaping cybersecurity for law firms. I'm Nolitza Garcia. I'm part of the business development and marketing team here at Eagle Tech, and I'm excited to be joined by Eduard Lavilla, our CEO and co-founder, who will be presenting today. As we go through the presentation, feel free to submit any question that you might have in the Q&A section, and at the end of this session, we'll take a few minutes to go over those questions. Mike and screens all yours, Ed.
Thank you guys for devoting this time to hear about AI and cybersecurity for law firms. We have quite a presentation, and I see all the people connected. So we're going to start right now. Let me just load the presentation. Right. So let me know when you're seeing the presentation. All right.
Yep.
So AI is shaping the cybersecurity for law firms, and not only the cybersecurity, but actually the whole operation of uh, the scheme of things. So the agenda is we're gonna talk a little bit about Eagle Tech, but more importantly, we try to understand what is AI and what is the role for in law firms. We're gonna explore some applications in the legal work. We're gonna discuss the ethical and regulatory consideration of AI, review a couple of case studies, and identify the challenges. And at the end, we're gonna talk about the cybersecurity concerns about AI that law firms should consider. So for those that don't know me, I am the CEO and co-founder of Eagle Tech Corp. I've been in the industry for many years. That is my contact information. If you want to send an email with questions or doubts, or my LinkedIn profile is right there. We've been working with law firms, with the Association of American Law Schools, with the International Bar Association, the Inter-American Bar Association. So we know a little bit about how the operations in the law firms works. A brief history of our journey. We were established in 2012 as a managed service provider, just in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Uh, and after that, we actually were seeing the landscape of cybersecurity that was getting worse and worse. And in 2015, we started shifting to our cybersecurity operations and becoming more specialized, more than a regular managed service provider. So we became an MSSP, and then today we actually did a merger of the two practices. So we do managed services, which is needed for the response piece of the monitoring, and also specialized in cybersecurity in more specific. So what is AI? So AI, a lot of people are calling AI anything, and it's a buzzword that have been used in multiple scenarios. And if you put probably the word AI in anything, if you want to do sell more ice cream, you just put, AI enable ice cream, and people will start buying it. But in reality, is a simulation of human intelligence in computers, that it's the processors of the computer. They work in a linear way, like a ledger. Every processor on the computer will process things in a linear way. One process at a time. But the human brain, doesn't work that way. The human brain makes different connections at the same time, and so now that the scientists developed what is called a neural processor unit that is coming in the computers and the servers, and then quantum computer enables the computing world to actually mimic how the human brain works. So they have developed what is called analyzing data, making decision, learning. So you probably will see AI, a synonym is machine learning, because the computer is actually researching and is learning and is storing that data to use it later on. So most people don't understand quite how the AI works, but they know that actually they enable them to do more stuff faster. And some people are afraid that AI might replace their job. Uh, and in some cases, it probably will in the future. Uh, but most likely, it's going to be as the analogy that I'm presenting right now, as if you're a a woodworking company, uh, how you gather your wood, how do you chop the tree down, and right now we are in the stage of using the axe. A lot of people are very good with the axe, and you can actually get a lot of trees down, but the process is slow. Now AI will be a chainsaw that is going to allow you to do that probably 50, 60, even 80% faster than just using an axe to chop a tree. So you can actually get, instead of one tree by the same amount of time, you can actually chop three or four. Uh, and even more, as you become more agile with this chainsaw, you can actually get more trees at a time. It's not actually taking away your job; it's actually making you more efficient at your job. It's actually giving you the tools to do more in the same amount of time. But what is the danger? Like if you get a chainsaw to someone that have never used a chainsaw, that you have the risk of hurting yourself, and then that repercussion will be you will have a lot of employees injured. So this new tool, we call the chainsaw, in this example, can actually help the business, but can also destroy the business, because it can damage. If you don't know how to use it properly, it can actually damage your business, your employees, uh, and it's very dangerous by the nature. It's the same thing with a car. If you give a kid that doesn't know how to drive a car, you pretty much is setting that kid, to have an accident and to kill himself or injure himself, because you need to know how to use it to actually take advantage. Now, once you know how to use a car, or now once you know how to use a chainsaw, then things become way easier, and then you take advantage. Now you can go from Washington D.C. to New York in 3 hours, in 4 hours, instead of walking as the people used to do, or taking horse riding. It's going to take you an immense amount of hours to do the same destination. But the analogy here is, as a company, you want to use these tools, which AI is a very powerful tool to enable your business to succeed. But if you don't know how to use it properly, it can actually destroy the business. Um, so, introducing AI to law firms. I mean, how we actually tailor the AI functions. So, the AI role in law is to enhance their legal research, since actually can have a vast amount of information at the same time, as I explained before, and you can actually automate tasks. You can actually improve the results of research. You can actually streamline procedures, and tasks that are repetitive. You can actually automate those tasks, and you can actually get more results. Now, there is a lot of AI applications in law firms now, but we actually have to see what ethical concerns. We're going to see probably a couple of case studies of how law firms are using AI tools, and what are the cybersecurity considerations. Now, what I was expecting out of this seminar is to understand what are the benefits of artificial intelligence, and to see what is the best practices in using it, but also for cybersecurity purposes. So, AI applications in legal work, and this is just a few, because it can get more in depth than this. But you have legal research. So now, instead of spending probably 8 hours researching, getting in your computer and googling things, or going to the law library and start, analyzing things, the AI can do that for you, and it will enable your lawyers. It will enable the paralegals to actually search information faster. Something that it will take 8 hours for a human being to do, for the AI, it will probably take minutes. So now you can actually analyze the output that the AI is going to give you in any subject matter. You can actually see what are previous cases that have been successful for the current arguments. So it is a lot of things in legal research. Also, case management. The case management, the AI will work as an assistant in some regards. Actually, can track down all the court days and the deadlines for certain documents or deadlines for certain activities that have to happen before you go to court. And there's some software that can actually try to predict where the case outcome, based on the arguments, based on the proof, based on the documents that you have in the system, versus previous cases that are similar. And so you can have a percentage of how you think the case is going to go and what do you need to change in order to get a better result. And then the e-discovery is pretty much how you get the evidence faster. How do you actually discover data for your clients? A key platform that are transforming the law firms. Ross Intelligence is a very powerful legal research assistant. Kira System also is a machine learning power contract analytic tool. So we have case text, co-counsel. That's another tool that actually help you draft documents, it review documents, and also relativity help you gather information of your documents. Actually, do the due diligence that you have everything in place, and identify any documents that you need for litigation. So ethicals and regulations. So how do we navigate the how do we ethically use AI? So now the American Bar Association already have ruled out some rules, and I think that the in the coming years there's going to be more regulations about how do we use AI. But currently, one of the things that is very important is to know that the ABA Module Rule 101 actually requires the lawyers understand the technology that they're using. So if you actually don't have a trained staff on AI, it's not ethical for them to use it just willy nilly. They need to understand how is the AI working, how the AI is providing the information, and where the information that the AI is actually consulting is coming from. What is the source of the data? Because the AI, different AI software can have different source of information. So is the ABA actually requires that you know where's that data being drawn from. The other thing is confidentiality and privacy. So the AI use most aligned data protection law, like in Europe with the GDPR. In the US, there are several privacy laws that we have to follow state by state and in the federal arena as well. So that is also that we have to review and the ABA rule 116. So with that being said, supervision and accountability. Lawyers oversee all AI generated outputs to prevent errors and ethical breaches. And that is the ABA rule 5.3, that it doesn't really matter how good the output it could be. You always need a lawyer to oversee whatever the AI is producing. You don't want to give your client anything that produce the AI without you actually, give it in a second look, correcting, because the AI have biases, and the biases is actually within the information that you receive. You got to make sure that the input that you give the AI is correct. So if you don't give the right parameters or you don't write the paragraph in a certain way, the output of the AI could be wrong. So it's very important that lawyers see that, and that your client at the end of the day knows that this thing has been reviewed by a real lawyer, not a machine. So that's something that is you got to keep in mind. And at the beginning, it sounds, yeah, we'll never, uh, you know, go with a document without a real lawyer actually reviewing it. But as months and years pass using AI, people get more comfortable, and people is like, well, I mean, this AI is giving me these documents are flawless. So there could be a situation that lawyers get so comfortable that actually they don't even review the document at all, and they just straight use the output from the AI. That's something that it cannot happen, and have to be remind every so often to your employees as well. So uh, Baker and Husser, they actually use ROS, and they adopted. They were facing bankruptcy, and they actually adopted uh, IBM Dr. Watson AI to actually do the research, and they reduced the research time by over 20%. Another tool that Alan and Overy and Harvey AI implemented was a chatbot for contract drafting and case research. And the chatbot is very useful because your clients can just go into the website, and the chat will be asking them according to the case what information. I mean, you need to submit a video if it is required, or this form, or explain to me what happened in the paragraph. And then as the chatbot is engaging in that conversation requiring these things, the chatbot is putting that into a document and in a database that after the fact your lawyers can actually see, and it can be tied in directly to your case management software. Clifford Chance used Kira to actually analyze contracts faster, to provide due diligence, tasks if things were missing, or the contract was incomplete, or needed more clarification. That saved a lot of, and according to the Clifford Chance, they actually reduce errors in contracts probably by 80-90%, because the software was actually helping them to oversee, or review these contracts in a very powerful and actually fast time. Re- Relativity in eDiscovery. So the driven document review, the reduced litigation discovery time. So this is something that actually will free time from your staff to actually engage in more clients. So all of these results of AI, it will enable a firm that was able to manage a limited amount of cases a month, and you probably can actually, instead of handling, let's say, 100 cases a month, now you can do 150. Now you can do 200 with the same amount of people, and that is huge, because it actually helped your law firm to scale in a way that you previously could not do. And then providing also faster response to your client. You can actually use AI to periodically update your clients in what is the case status, what they should expect, to remind them about court days, to remind them about appointments, and to remind them, what is where is the process, and where we are, so you don't have people checking in all the time and taking away time from your lawyers, or from your receptionists, or from your paralegals. What are the challenges and limitation of AI in law? So if we understand this is not cheap, and some software become very expensive. So right now, the licensing of this software could actually potentially be a lot, but you have to weigh that against the benefits for the firm. The other big thing is data and privacy and cybersecurity that we're going to go in depth in a few more slides. But the data have to follow certain regulations, certain compliance. AI cannot go through your network and is scanning everything that you have in your network just because it can. You have to put boundaries on what the AI can see and what the AI cannot see. Bias and accuracy issues. So this is something that is one of the most controversial thing is, if you input biased information into the system, the AI will most likely give you biased information back, which will actually give you inaccurate information, or inaccurate representation of the data that you want to see. For example, if you start a paragraph asking question to AI, if we have a guilty party doing this and so, everything that the AI is going to do is assuming that the person is guilty. So any input that or output that the AI is going to give you is going to be based on that biased information. So If the parties, if you don't want that, then you have to train your staff to actually know how to ask the question, how to input the stuff into the AI engine. And then lawyer resistance. Some legal professionals are skeptical, and this is not only in law firms. This is across the industry. But you have been doing things for the same way for so long, and some people is like, I don't need the AI to help me, that I can do this by myself. I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't need an AI to tell me what to do. uh, but this is not about replacing them or making them less valuable. Actually, is to enhance and to give them more time to actually do what they do best. uh, so just cutting time on research, cutting time on engaging with the customer, giving the discoveries sooner results. That all of that stuff will allow the law firm to actually engage and be more efficient, because all these things that distract, sometimes the lawyers will be handled by the AI, and just the lawyer will focus on what they do best. Uh, Resistance is always going to be there, and there are various ways to deal with that. But it's pretty much showing them that we're just replacing the axe and giving them a chainsaw to do this thing better and faster. It's not replacing them, or just learning a new thing sometimes could be a challenge as well. And it's not only for lawyers, but uh, human nature is that way. I know how to do things. I don't need to learn a new way to doing it. But the thing is that everybody's using AI. So if your firm want to stay relevant in this world, with the competitiveness that it is, you have to, engage in AI. You cannot keep chopping trees with your axe, because everybody else uses a chainsaw and you're going to be left behind. So it is something that inevitable you will have to face one way or another if you wanted to stay relevant in the industry. All right, so we're going to skip this. We're going to put it up probably at the end. So in this section, the takeaway would be, this AI will enhance efficiency. You have to comply and be ethic about it. AI is just a tool, it's not a replacement. uh, the human oversight is always going to be necessary. I cannot emphasize that more. This is not a replacement. And most people, not only in the law firm, in the legal realm, but in other realms, people think that it will replace, but it's not replacement, it's enhancement. It's giving you more power to do more stuff faster. Um, and remember, if your firm is not doing it fast enough, other firms are, because they're using AI tools. So you better start thinking about how can you actually start engaging in AI tools. And the future, AI continue to evolve, and it will, with the stronger regulations and more advanced capabilities. So governments, obviously, they need to regulate what the AI can be used for and how can be used to caution it. We got to be cautious about, especially in legal and in actually in courts. The future of people are in the law firm hands sometimes, and we don't want the AI to have complete control. We need to have accountability. We got to regulate what the AI can see, what cannot see. uh, so the growing role of the cybersecurity risk and the cybersecurity problems with AI. We touch of how great is AI and why did you should have it and why you should embrace it. Now we're going to see what's happening in the cybersecurity world and why AI is becoming also a problem. Uh, we have the growing role of AI in a lot of law firms, as I mentioned. We also have cybersecurity risk because the AI can see data that most people don't have access to. They actually pose new threats because as people get more access to AI tools, they can actually leak information from your firm, not knowing what they're doing. Again, with the analogy of the chainsaw, you get somebody don't know how to use the chainsaw, you might cut, a coworker. So if you don't use how to use AI, if you don't use it properly, you might have people leaking information and sensitive information to the internet, and to the hackers. And also, having the ABA model rules and implementing the mitigation of these frameworks is going to be crucial. So, how do we understand the threats and the data vulnerability? So, we got AI enhanced cyber attacks. Cyber criminals leverage AI to conduct sophisticated phishing and malware. And I'm going to get out of the PowerPoint for a little bit to make it a little bit more interactive and to show you what we mean when we say that we want to actually show you how this works. So if you have someone, let's say, let me just change the camera here for number 3. Okay. So some of you guys are watching this, right? So this is just simple chat
Yeah,
GPT.
we can see it.
Yeah. So we let's say that we have, a hacker in, I don't know, Ethiopia, and the hackers, or Ethiopia, or let's say Afghanistan, and all those countries, where it's very hard to pursue them, and they pretty much can try to hack anything in the U.S., and it's very hard to catch them. So that's what they do it from those countries. Uh, if they want to trick someone, uh, to actually give them information in an email, I mean their English is bad, and and most people know how lawyers talk. So if I say, hey, listen, I know that you have a case and you need to pay me. If you want the case to continue, I'm going to be suspicious because that language is not what a lawyer will use. Uh, but if I am not native in English and I want to trick someone and send emails, I will just going to say to ChatGPT the following. I'm going to say, uh, I am a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer, and I want to send an email to one of my client to request that they need to pay the remainder, right, the balance, their balance in order for the case to continue, and we do not lose this case, and express urgency, express urgency, and talked like a lawyer. And I just click enter, and this is what I'm going to have. So this is how fast a hacker can actually pose as a hacker. I mean, as a lawyer. So you see how this beautiful email in perfect English. I hope you find you well. I'm writing you to bring your immediate attention the outstanding balance of your account, which must be settled to ensure the continued progression of your case. As you are aware, legal proceedings require timely and dealer actions, and da 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 da. So as a lawyer, you can see that this is a very decent email requesting money to any of your clients, and they can actually impersonate you. They can use a Gmail account and send this email to your client, and then in the bottom you can put, this is how you pay, and they can actually pay you. So this is how simple the whole tricking you actually works. So are we back in the PowerPoint?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So we also have the other risk that it is data leaks via AI tools. So we trust these AI platforms. We use ChatGPT, we use Gemini, we use uh, different other platforms. We have Ross, we have different legal firms. But what happened when those platforms get hacked? We actually everything that we put in, we input in those platforms, actually they get access to, and the hackers can actually use that against our clients. And not only the AI itself, but any cloud-based software that get hacked will actually have your client's data and the case data there exposed. So that happened from time to time, unfortunately. And then you have to be able to see how you mitigate that, and how do you react, and how trustworthy is the AI platform. There are probably hundreds of AI platforms coming out new every single day, and most of them are not very secure, and they don't take the proper measurement of security, so they are exposing your client data, and you don't know exactly how exposed your data is. And the last but not least in this presentation is the deep fake and impersonation. So deep fakes actually can get audio, and you have seen a lot of Instagram, Facebook, and X posts about you know uh, Trump and Zelensky doing stuff that they didn't do, and unfortunately these things are so easy to do nowadays that if we're not careful, we can actually fall for it. I'm gonna show you just a couple of tools that actually. Let me see if you see my screen right now. As you can see here, we actually have 11 Labs. It's very famous AI tool that can actually text to speech. That's what a lot of people are using to do YouTube and Instagram videos. They don't have even to talk. But not only that, but you can actually upload your voice or the voice of whoever you record and put it here, and then actually get a speech with that voice. And you just generate the speech, and you just write here, whatever you want to say, and it will be recorded. Even worse, we have software like Synthesia. Synthesia actually allow me to create videos. I just uploaded a couple of my pictures, and look, I mean, I wish I could be in Paris, but the best part is that you can actually do videos with these avatars, and they can use my voice. So if you can, and this is a very cheap platform for what it does. So if we go here, and we can see all these AI, we actually created training material. If you see here, uh, this is an AI that we created. This is not a real person, but we can put any face here if we have enough pictures. So if any of your lawyers in the website or in social media they post pictures, anybody can capture those pictures, and they can create an avatar, and they can create videos. They can actually capture your voice. So this thing is real, and none of these tools are illegal. This is very legal. Actually, you just pay the subscription. Is probably like 20 or 30 bucks for if you want the full license. I'm using the free license right now, but if I try to upgrade, I think you can actually upgrade. Yeah, so you can pay $18 a month, $64 a month for all the features and creating all the avatars and deep fakes that you want. So these tools are available all the time. They happen. We have heard about people falling for these scams, unfortunately, and we actually don't want you to be a victim of that. So going back to our PowerPoint presentation, I want to just get out of for a little bit so you don't get bored and you don't get hammered with the AI. So OpenAI ChatGPT actually had a data breach in 2023. So these things are real. The glitch exposed users' chat history, payment information. So they did not accept that it was a hack, but it was a glitch in the system, and a lot of people have access to this data. So if your law firm is using OpenAI, they probably were exposed to this data breach. Employees leaking data. There's a lot of cases employees unintentionally sharing sensitive information with AI tools, and this also poses a problem. And then people are pretty much getting hacked. We have a couple of clients that have reported that their client has been sent payments to hackers via email, because they received a notification that they didn't pay for the balance, so they actually pay like $1,000, $2,000 using, I don't know, Western Union and stuff like that, to these hackers, thinking that they were paying the law firm, and when they eventually meet with the law firm, it's like, no, you haven't paid anything, and they're like, how come? And they show the email, and the email actually is not coming from the law firm; it's coming from somebody else. So these things are happening. What can we do to prevent anything of this sort happening? So, how we protect the deployment of law firms? The first of all, you have to make sure that you use AI solutions that are secure. You have to, analyze their reputation. You have to ask them, what are you doing to encrypt the data? How can I be sure that you're not sharing this information with nobody else, and nobody else can see what my data is what prompts I'm doing? What are the guarantees? I mean, how do they guarantee? And is there any policies or any payment back if they get a breach? Also, what are the zero retention policies that they have? Do you want them to store your data? Do you want them to delete it as soon as you close the session? So those questions you need to engage before you agree to use AI tool for your law firm. Implementing role-based access control. So if you're gonna use, for example, Microsoft Copilot, which is an amazing tool for Office 365 and for daily work, and all the Windows machines that are coming now are using Copilot. It's an amazing tool, but again, like the chainsaw, you need to know how to use it properly. You need to restrict the AI and the people who use the AI, that is not going to look for payroll information, for example. AI does not have access to my payroll information. It does not have access to my financial, but it will have access only to these case, criminal cases. But I don't want the AI to have access to the immigration cases. So you have to be able to implement roles and to actually limit the AI to what they can actually see and what they can actually process. So you don't want a lawyer asking the AI certain information, and it will disclose information from cases that you consider that they are very private, and you don't want the AI actually using those cases to draw information from. Uh, and employee training. We need to educate lawyers, staff, and paralegals, receptionists, everybody on how to use AI, how good they are, but how dangerous is AI, and actually training in the ethical consideration of using those tools, and that only authorized AI tools can be used. They cannot go on the internet and say, I want to use AI for this and that, and use any AI that they find, just Googling it, because that's how problems start. Compliance. We need to start always on top of the compliance. We need data protection law in the U.S. is always changing because technology is changing. So the laws and the regulations are going to be changing as well. We encourage you guys to always follow the ABA model rules on the AI ethics. And there is some regulations that Europe, if you work with Europe, or if you actually have clients that have data in Europe, you also have to follow these rules. So now with cloud computing, if you, for any reason, are using an AI tool that resides in a European data center, you have to follow European AI Act and actually follow all the regulations and requirements. That's why it's very important to know where the data is being stored with AI, and when possible, try to process the AI locally in your firm. Try not to use cloud resources, because that's going to give you more control on what data and how you're protecting that data only in your law firm. Uh, we strongly encourage you to use in your law firm NIST, which is a cybersecurity framework that will help you with to mitigate the AI risk. Uh, ISO 27001 and cybersecurity frameworks are awesome. Eagle Tech use these two a lot. We also use the continuous monitoring and oversight of all our clients that are using AI. You have update policies in your company. You have to audit, the AI to see what is the AI actually doing, uh, what is seeing, what risk the AI may possess if you have access to sensitive data and so forth. And this is something that you need to do at least one or twice a year, because probably you have some cases that are very sensitive right now, and then you don't want the AI to have access to it. For some reason someone open up and by mistake give the AI access to those cases. You need to review that and notice, oh, we made a mistake here. These cases are off limits for the AI, and you need to limit that. So I don't know if we have time for questions. Uh, but again, this is my contact data, and we also have this email is AI law firms at Eagle Tech Corp. If you send your information there, mentioning this webinar, we are going to be offering a free cybersecurity assessment for your law firm. So we will be able to tell you how to improve your cybersecurity posture in your organization. And if you want to implement AI, this is the first step that you need to do. Is you need to understand how your cybersecurity now, and how can you put AI on top of your cybersecurity currently, and how to structure your organization better to actually do not use the AI in the wrong way, and actually will help you to grow your business, to scale your business, and to actually give more time to your staff to actually do what they do best. So, do we have any question, Noli?
Yes,
In
yes, we do. We still have around 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And yes, we do have a couple of questions. So the first one will be, do you think that AI is a hype dedicated only for big law firms or big organizations?
No, actually, I don't. I think law firms of any size can use the advantage of AI, and in the contrary, AI will give the advantage of small firms to compete with large firms, because now with AI they will be able to do an immense amount of work with few staff, and you can do research, more research. You can do investigate cases more in depth if you actually have the right software to go deep into the libraries and to search for previous cases. Uh, I know that there is some big law firms that they bully small firms because they know that the small firms does not have the resources to research. But with AI tools, that advantage is getting smaller and smaller. I wouldn't say it's totally disappearing, but I think AI tools will give a special advantage to small and mid law firms.
Okay, so there is another question, which I think it's related in some sort. It says, being a small organization, do you think that this is a threat for us?
Yes, and it's a threat in multiple ways. Not only in the terms that you always, it doesn't really matter if you're small or big organization. Hackers are actually not looking especially for big firms. They're looking for any firm because if you don't have valuable data for the hacker at the moment, they will use your firm to get to another firm. Uh, so, and then small firms have the disadvantage that some of them don't have IT dedicated personnel because they lack resources, uh, and but the lawyers and the users seeing this new thing with the AI, and they start looking at AI tools and they start googling how can I use AI for research this case or to draw this information, and they actually don't have the expertise to vet the AI provider, so they are actually exposing you and your firm to these things that we talk about in the presentation. So it is it's a big threat for small firms, even if they're not using AI yet, but they don't have anybody to actually oversee that effort.
Right. Um, Actually, there's the next question is just also related to what you were saying right now, and the question is, we do not have an IT team. What should we do to get there?
Okay, well, first of all, you need to have someone that it will be in charge of overseeing or to be the liaison for AI in the organization. That's the first step. Even before thinking about IT staff or to get a managed service provider, you need to have someone in the organization that knows the organization, that people respect in the organization, to actually be the leader in AI implementation. That person will actually that person doesn't have to be an expert in AI. You just have to have the role of nothing happen if I don't know about it. You don't use AI, you don't do anything unless I approve it. And that person is responsible to find a managed service provider, ideally a managed service provider that have expertise in cybersecurity, because there is the caveat that a lot of MSPs, they claim that they do security, but they're actually not experts on security. They just because they put an antivirus in a computer, they think that's pretty much security, and security is way more than this. Uh, so you need to have this person that is going to be that liaison, and then you have to start searching for a managed service provider, a managed security service provider that have these two things. It knows about cybersecurity and actually have worked with AI before. Uh, IT providers is like doctors. So you have the general doctor that can oversee. That's the regular MSP. They can do the general thing. But then you also have heart specialists, and you have people specializing in breeding, in viruses, and so the same goes with IT specialists. So if you're gonna go with a generalist, they are not going to give you the best service in terms of cybersecurity or in terms of Copilot or AI in general. So you need to find and you have to bet that MSP or MSSP that knows this stuff. So the advantage is that you don't have to pay a full-time staff. You will have a complete company overseeing all that stuff for a fraction of the cost of a person.
Okay, we have one more, Ed, one last question. And this is from your perspective, what is that we should do to get prepared?
To get prepared. Well, the first thing that you need to do is to review all the best practices and regulation of the American Bar Association regarding AI, and be sure that you're following that. And the first mandate or the first rule that ABA has is every lawyer needs to understand the basic of AI and the basic of what the AI do before they can use the tool ethically. And so find again a company that can actually give you training, a workshop every quarter, a workshop for your law firm. So they actually are very familiar with this. This is the first step. You lawyers need to know how AI works. Uh, to be able to use it ethically.
Great. Well, that was our last question. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. We hope you found this insightful. If you have any additional questions or would like to continue this conversation, please feel free to reach out. We'll be sharing the link of the recording of this webinar shortly, so you can revisit this session at your convenience. And have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe online, and until the next one. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ed.
Bye.
Thank you.